All right. Are we live here yet? Let's see here. What's going on, everybody? How are you guys doing today? Oops. I have to turn on my video here. There we go. Okay, we are live. Alrighty. So what have you guys been up to? I've got a project I'm working on right now. It is a new construction in Bonnie Lake, 6 units, 6 lots, 6 lot short plat. So I have been on a mission basically the last couple weeks, cold calling builders, trying to figure out who is interested in such a deal. So the kind of cool thing is we've got people that we're adding to our buyers list now, even though they're not specifically interested in this deal. We've got a few smaller builders that are looking for 1 or 2 lot type development deals. So we've been able to add them to our buyers list. And the way I went about doing this actually is I took a list of all of the properties that have sold in the last maybe 6 to 9 months from the MLS that were built 2022 or newer, and then looked up basically who the builders were on all of those deals. And then I know it's like, okay, I know these companies have just sold new construction in Pierce County now. So let me go figure out who the acquisitions person is at those companies and see if I can try to find out who to talk to there to see if they're doing actual land acquisition. So I've had a couple of good conversations this morning with some people who are running land acquisitions for some of these builders. And one is actually headquarters in Bonnie Lake, but surprisingly, they're not buying there anymore. They're buying in Moses Lake and Ellensburg now, and they've got a project up in Whatcom County as well near, I think it's in Blaine. So if people are coming across, agents or wholesalers are coming across any sort of development deals or vacant lots, send them on over, because I'm been expanding my network of buyers who are buying these types of properties as I'm doing my homework on this particular deal. So, if you got something, especially in Pierce County, we might be able to get you plugged in with one of these builders that we've been talking to these last couple of weeks. So anyway, see Jason hopped up on the call. What's going on, man? How you been doing?
I'm doing all right.
So you last time we talked, you had a list you were gonna start working through. How's that looking?
Um, it's a little outdated using the prop stream, so I just went back to the title companies. So it's a pretty short list.
So having any luck there with the title companies list?
I just started calling it, so not really.
Okay. All right. Are you doing any texting at all also? Or is it just calling?
No, these are just calling.
Okay. So hopefully you're able to start getting some leads in. I know things are have been picking up a bit with people getting deals locked up now at prices that make a bit more sense than we were seeing, 3 months or more ago. So yeah, hopefully you're able to get something soon.
Yeah. Have you bought a property from the city before?
Directly from the city?
Yeah.
No, I've not done that. Why? What are you looking at?
I'm looking to get my wife something for her to expand her business over here at where I'm at.
Uh-huh.
So I was wondering if you might be able to help me out, maybe off stream. I'll run it by you.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So how did the city acquire it?
It's an old fire station.
Oh, it's a fire station. Interesting.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. So and they don't like have it listed? What are
No,
they?
it's listed on the MLS.
Oh, it's on the MLS?
Yeah,
Fire station on the MLS.
it's like 1.4, 1.3.
Oh, weird.
They
That's
got it
all
for 7K back in the day. Like, yeah, we're not paying that, buddy.
7K.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That was probably a while ago, I imagine.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting. So you guys would do the work on it yourself to basically turn it into like an office space, or what kind of space would you be using it for?
It'd be more of a med spa space.
Okay.
Because
That would
my wife
cool.
has a med spa company already. So it's only like a block away, 2 blocks away from her office right now. So it would be an extension of that, offering more services. That way people don't got to go to Seattle for those services,
Mhm.
like deprivation tanks and stuff like that, salt baths and
Oh, cool. That's
salt
awesome.
and stuff like that. So it'd be the first of its kind over here because I don't think there's anything like that over here.
And so what is she doing right now? Is she currently renting space or?
Yeah, she's renting. Yeah, she rents space right now, but she'd probably still stay over there. There'd be it'd be the same business, but offering two different things.
Mhm.
So she
Mhm.
does more Botox and like and sculpt and stuff like that, and nutrition and life coaching at her main office,
Mhm.
and then offering these other things at this office.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I'd be curious to see what it looks like. I have no idea how you'd price something about like that. And then also like what's the zoning at like, you know?
Um, I don't. I think it should fall. I mean, because I mean it's commercial. I think it should fall still into there.
Commercial usage.
Yeah. Well, it's commercial residential uses because there's not, you know, there's firehouses out here that are turning into people's houses. I've
Mhm.
seen my travels out here.
Mhm.
Which is such a cool flex as a bachelor, man. If you had your fire station at your house, got your big old dusty ass leather couch and your cafe racer bike in the front.
Right, then you got the pole to slide down when you want
Yeah,
to.
you cut off the bottom of the pole, you put your bed right underneath it. There you go. You just slide right in bed.
Keep your cars down there.
No, the pole goes to the bed.
Oh, it goes to the bed.
Pole goes to the bed. You slide down, it goes to the bed. A big old round bed, like shack size, like 10 foot wide diameter bed. It always rotates.
That's the Alaskan king size bed. Like it's crazy big.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. I think I need a double king as a bed.
so you have any other deals that you've come across other than the ones that well, you got your own list that you're trying to pull, but has anybody sent you anything else to
No,
take?
I mean I've gone through a couple of revisions over here on my end. Like supposed to be starting this program with this guy, and then now I don't know where that's at. But in doing that, I had to create a relationship with somebody for me to get my skip tracing at the cost that it is. And he's asking where the volume's at. I'm like, I don't really have the volume now because it doesn't look like we're going through with this.
Mhm.
At least from my end. So it's a bunch of changes over here, man.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I mean, people, I think in general right now are having to try to figure things out and readjust just because the market is so different than it was last year, right?
No, this is not that. This is a I'm gonna stop talking to Jason. I don't know why he stopped talking to me. Didn't do anything wrong. All I'm doing is just trying to
Talking about one person in particular, you mean?
I'm talking about one person in particular, and
Okay.
I don't know where that came from. All I did was produce,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's what I'm left with. I gave him the ultimate play, which is nothing like it. It looks like I was just used for my idea. So it is what it is. I have tons of ideas that have been used before, so that's
Well,
the nature of the beast.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, well, hopefully the stuff that you're working on now is you'll start refilling your pipeline up with the the contacts you got from the title company. How much time per day are you working on cold calling, and are you doing it yourself, or you have a VA doing the calling?
This is all done by me because they're all in my area, anyways.
Okay.
So it's cool stuff that's close to me that I can get to really
Okay.
quickly. So
So yeah, how much time are you working on wholesaling stuff per day?
um probably maybe 2 hours because I have two business plans to write for two different businesses right now.
Mm-hmm.
And equity plans for those businesses, 3 year, 5 year plans for both those businesses, give backs for both those businesses in terms of
These are your businesses, or are you doing this for somebody else?
one is for me and one person I'm doing for that's a friend, um, which is it's the same, pretty much the same thing, but he had a stroke like a while ago, so it's really just to help get him on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
If what I'm planning happens, which is getting a 502 retailer license. So
Okay, so you got some other stuff going on besides
yeah,
wholesaling, and that's
so
kind
then
of keeping you busy.
so then I'm starting to look for retail locations that I can buy because that would already put me at $1 million plus in terms of making a deal if I did need to find an investor for said shop.
Mm-hmm.
Not having to deal with 4 or 5 times rent by being a leasee.
Mm-hmm.
Charge those businesses. They charge them at a minimum 3 times rent.
Okay, so you're looking for a commercial place to buy then,
Yeah,
or
I'm looking for a retail spot to buy. So yeah, your commercial spot, correct.
okay, what location?
I'm looking at Clark County, so right by the Oregon border.
Oh, okay, so you're pretty far south. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lead on a commercial space in Tacoma. Actually, so the seller's supposedly pretty motivated. I found this deal through an agent, but she says she's pretty motivated, and then she gave me the price and how much work it needs.
What's the price?
Price was like what she wanted initially. She said like 800K, and ARV
What's the square
maybe
footage?
3,500 square feet. And ARVs maybe 1 million on it, and it needs 200K in work. So
Shoot it to me.
it's like
No,
it's
shoot it to me right now. Shoot me the
okay.
details. I can
Okay.
probably get that done. What's the price? Is it 800?
So that's what the seller's wanting. The seller's wanting 800 for
I
it.
gotta see the address first
Yeah.
because I don't know if it'll work out. But if I check the address and it works out, then yeah, you might got
Yeah.
one.
The seller's wanting 800. They might be squishy on the price though. It's been mostly vacant for a while. They've only got one tenant in there at this point. I think they're collecting like $800 a month. So they're not getting any income on it. So they probably got some holding costs associated with it. And so they might be a bit negotiable. Well, we'd have to see. But I'm like, if the starting price is 800, I don't know how far I'd have to get them down to make this actually into an actual deal, especially if it needs that much work. So, but yeah, I can send you over the details and you can let me know what you think of it. I haven't really pursued it that much because, like I said, the seller just doesn't seem to be hugely hugely motivated. So, and very similar situation. I think I had mentioned last week on a like a 30 unit apartment deal up in Snohomish County. I can't even get financials from the seller without an accepted. She wants an accepted purchase and sale agreement before she even gives me financials. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know what an intelligent offer is on this if I have no idea what the profit and loss on the property is
Yeah.
right now? So I've been going back and forth with her for a bit, trying to see if I can get some more information. All she says is, well, the expenses are very low. And I was like, I don't know how many times I've heard that from a multifamily property owner. Oh, my expenses are very low. So good. Okay, so that means there's a lot of deferred maintenance probably that's been going on there if you haven't been spending a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's usually what that means. So I don't know. I'll see. She supposedly needs to get rid of this thing because she wants to do a 1031 exchange into something else. And but she's just been very stingy with the information that she's giving me right now. So it's really hard to make any sort of offer if I have no idea what the NOI is of this property. So anyway, that's kind of the joys of dealing with. So you got kind of those group of multifamily sellers, and then the other ones which have no records whatsoever, and or very few records of their actual income and expenses and stuff like that, and it makes it very difficult to put an offer on those and wholesale those, because the first thing buyers are always going to ask for is the profit and loss statements for the last 12 months, and wanting to see the rent rolls and all of that stuff. And some of these buyers or sellers have like zero documentation. I have no idea how they pay their taxes, or maybe they don't pay their taxes. I don't know, but it's makes it really, really challenging to sell those deals. And usually the only way to do it is if they're priced at a huge discount to what they're potentially worth, right? Because the buyer is basically having to go off whatever the seller's word is on what they're actually bringing in, or the buyer goes off their own pro forma numbers on what they think they'd be able to get for that property once the units are all renovated and rents are at market, and kind of ignore whatever the property is doing right now at the moment. So yeah, I've got a number of those deals in the works right now at the moment. I got like can't remember how many units he said it was, like 20 units out in Grays Harbor County. Number of different multifamily properties. So I actually just got some financials on that one today. So I'm going to be reviewing those and seeing if whatever the seller's wanting actually makes sense or not. But so yeah, some of these other ones, it's just completely in the dark, and sellers are not giving up anything. So anyway, that's some of the fun stuff I've been working on. So we got like 4 deals right now that we're taking a look at, and some of these are deals and some of them aren't. All 4 of these are from other wholesalers that a couple of them are just locked up at close to retail price, and so I have to kind of do some digging with those wholesalers and figure out what's going on there, why they locked them up so high, if they need a ton of work to them. And that's kind of been a bit frustrating. People still locking up deals with a seller that is just willing to talk to them, without doing any sort of negotiation. Whatever the seller is wanting to get for their property, they just put it under contract at that price and hope they can
Be free out into the world.
hope they can sell it for that price, right? So is a good example of that was like a wholesaler sent us a deal to help them sell, and they had it locked up at 400,000. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can we sell this deal at? And so I look at it and I'm like we can sell this deal maybe at 330. So I go back to the wholesaler. I was like, this is gonna be locked up at like 300. So like, can you just like, let's just work backwards and walk me through your process on, how you came up with the offer for 400,000 on this deal. And so he's like, oh, well, that's what the seller wanted, was 400,000. And I'm like, oh my God, you can't just lock up a deal for 400,000 just because that's what the seller says they want. Now the seller's expectations are completely like way up here, and trying to reset the expectations where now you got to try to come down by 100K right after you lock the deal up is virtually impossible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the only way that seller's going to sell that property for 300,000 is if they get a bunch of other offers from other wholesalers that are down in the low 300s, right? So this guy that locked up at 400, there's probably no way he's going to be able to get a reduction from that seller down to 300. So yeah, we're still seeing that where deals are getting locked up at way too high prices, and that don't make sense. And a lot of those deals are just falling through, so
Yeah, that's order taking and not selling, man.
Yep, exactly. So you're not helping that seller out at all by giving them a number that's completely unrealistic.
Yeah, because when you go in there and stand them up, now it's your fault, and now they're, that whole bubble's busted. They already spent that money in their head.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they
That's
spent
exactly
nothing.
yeah. They're counting on getting 400, right? And they, like you said, they've already spent that money in their head. They're planning on what they're going to do with it.
RV, boat, 30 grand in the pocket, out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, real quick, what's that address in Tacoma? I have the site I needed up. I forgot what it was.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up in Podio. I've
Okay.
got it somewhere in Podio, but I don't have it right in front of me here. So yeah, I'll look it up and send it over to you as soon as I can find it here. So so you looking like for any sort of commercial deals, or
No, I mean, if this spot fits and I know people that have 502 licenses and growing and processing that would love that if that fits over there for them.
Okay. All right.
But otherwise, no, I'm really just really working on these other things these other fires I have going on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I come across, as I've been calling like agents and working with other wholesalers and stuff, I've been coming across occasionally other commercial deals. So if you think you might have some of those business owners that might be interested in, I could send them your way and we could see if we can partner up on them.
Or if you come across anything that has any car lifts in it, I have a friend that has a shop down there that's looking to expand. So anything by like where like Dodge of Tacoma is, he's right on that street. Anything, car lifts or anything else like that, or garage space, or mechanic space, mechanic shop, anything like that, let me know as well, and then I can just give him a call.
Oh, interesting. So I came across somebody probably 2 years ago now. I could look in our CRM to see if I still have his contact info, but cold caller hit him up, and it was actually his auto shop somewhere in Tacoma he wanted to sell.
Gotcha.
And the price that he was wanting, that pretty much looked like retail price. So that didn't make sense. But I asked him, and I was like, "Hey, do you have anything else that you're interested in selling? Because we're looking down, in Pierce County, or elsewhere if you have anything. And he did happen to have actually a vacant lot in Puyallup, and it actually looked like a deal at the price that he gave it to us. So we went ahead and locked it up and got some initial interest like right off the bat on it. And unfortunately, and this is what happens with land deals, is once the buyers start doing their due diligence, you get in there, you start finding the warts on the land. And so on this particular deal, it was that the topography was pretty rough. It was on, half the lot was a pretty steep slope.
So it's a lot of money in grading.
Yeah, it was going to be a lot of site prep work on it. And then the other thing was that there was no access to the property. Meaning like
you gotta make a road, driveway and everything, huh?
There was no road to it. There was an easement, which the city said that whoever builds on that lot would be able to use it for their driveway, but it was a pretty far run that somebody would not only have to build a road, but also the utilities had to come all that way as well. It was almost a quarter mile. So,
so you're pretty much 100K in the hole already.
Yeah, exactly. So even though the initial price on this deal like made it look good,
then it's pretty much, after you put all that work into it, it's pretty much a retail deal then.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the thing with these land deals, is like on the surface, a lot of them look like, oh, this looks like it's going to be a pretty good deal. And then, you get into it and start doing your homework on it, and that there's a lot of other work that needs to go into it. And so the price that the seller was originally wanting all of a sudden doesn't seem as good as it did. Right.
Oh, sorry, my mic was on. I was talking to my dog.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, that we ended up getting that deal from a guy that had a garage in Tacoma, and then just that, and he wasn't even going to tell us about this other deal. I just happened to ask him, like, do you have anything else that you're interested in selling? So his plan anyway with that deal was going to be to, if we weren't going to get a buyer for it, was to basically develop it himself. So his plan all along was to build a house on it. And so he's like, well, if I can get this price for it, I'd be willing just to sell it. But I have, and he was going through his own due diligence process also to kind of find out like what it was going to take to build on that lot. So he wasn't even, I don't think, fully aware of how much it was going to cost to actually, put a house there. So I am curious if I check back in on that lot, if they would be interested in it. So strangely enough, I tried to wholesale it to I think it was the Puyallup Indian tribe, because they were buying land down in that area. And unfortunately, their due diligence process takes months, and I unfortunately didn't have it under contract for that long and couldn't get an extension on it. So I basically that started the due diligence process with the tribe, and then I basically just once the contract expired and the seller didn't want to extend it anymore, I just handed that contact info to them. So it's possible that they might have ended up selling the property to the tribe. The tribe was actually interested in it. So
yeah, I'm dealing with the tribe right now too on some on something else as well. Dealing with two different tribes right now. Dealing with tribes in terms of the casinos, and then the liquor stores, and then the golf courses. Yeah, a lot of things going on, man, but nothing's really, panning out. Everything's slow.
Yeah, well, it's a numbers game, right? Like, you just got to kind of keep in mind the more you put yourself out there, the more opportunities you make for yourself. Eventually these things are gonna, some of these things are gonna pan out, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of being consistent and sticking with it, even when it seems like it isn't working as well as it was. And that's a hard thing to do, right? That's why like not everybody is doing this, especially now. Like maybe last year there's a different story, right? But this year's a lot harder. So
Yeah, it is, man. This ain't walking into deals anymore.
yeah, exactly. So all right, man, I'm gonna take off. Anybody else that's watching this on YouTube or Facebook Live or whatever, um, feel free to drop me a message if you got any questions, or if you're watching this after the fact, I guess, drop me a DM with any questions or deals you want a second pair of eyes on. I'll be happy to take a look.
Hey,
Otherwise,
so give me a call on my 425 number so I can run this by you.
let me see. I just switched from smart. Why don't you message me your number again on Facebook? Because I just
Okay.
switched from call rail to smartphone. And I'm not sure all my contacts got copied over or not. So I just want to make sure I still got it.
Gotcha.
Cool. All right, man. Talk to you in a little bit.
Bye.
All right. See you guys. Bye bye.